Hi guys, and welcome back to this week's episode of the In the Hub podcast, brought to you by Playbox Technology UK. Today, I'm speaking to broadcast industry PR expert Denise Williams. Denise has over 25 years of experience in the broadcasting and entertainment industries. She's currently working alongside Bubble Agency in the UK, delivering expert PR services to companies based across the world. Hope you enjoy. Welcome to the In the Hub podcast today, Denise. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Neil. Thank you for the invitation.
No, of course, Denise. It's a pleasure to have you on. And obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about PR and public relations in the broadcasting industry. And that's a topic that we haven't yet properly discussed on the podcast. And it's one that we're quite interested in hearing more about from you. So, Denise, before we do get started with some of the more PR questions, how did you personally get started in the broadcasting industry? Where did it all begin for you?
Well, if I can think back that many years, I think I actually started with Tektronix. Of course, I had a career outside of broadcast media and entertainment before I got into it. But when it actually started for me in this industry, I was part of the Grass Valley division at Tektronix. And when Tektronix put Grass Valley up for sale, I decided to go with Grass Valley. Of course, we had a choice. I could have stayed with Tektronix, but I chose to go with Grass.
And then, Denise, just briefly, what is it about this industry that kind of kept you hooked on?
Well, I'd have to say that it's a very dynamic industry. You know, there's always an opportunity to learn something new. There's always an opportunity to meet amazing people around the globe. And most of all, we're always in the midst of what's happening, you know, whether it be live sports, whether it be award events, you know, anything that the consumer is looking at basically was the exciting thing to me. Everything in the media, entertainment, you know, feature films, anything like that. And I just found it fascinating. And even though I was behind the scenes, just knowing that I had one little piece to do with any of these amazing events is what hooked me.
Yeah. No, I've got to say this industry is so full on, and I've got a huge respect for anyone who's involved in this industry, you know, in the small roles all the way up to those big roles. So much respect. So I've always kind of been fascinated by the importance of public relations and publicity itself in this industry. Denise, have you seen firsthand what can happen if a company does not handle its public image well?
Oh, well, that's a good question.
I'm not trying to get any gossip here or anything like that, you know.
Yeah, well, from where I sit, public relations to me is the heartbeat of any organization. And I believe that all businesses should have some kind of PR embedded into their day-to-day activities, whether it is an agency collaboration or just a one-woman, you know, one-stop shop. Because if they don't, it's like not watering your plant. It's eventually going to die on the vine. You know, so I've seen businesses go from being unknown to the industry to be the talk of the town. And once it includes PR in their ongoing activity, then that's when the dynamics change and things become more interesting and exciting.
Yeah. So again, PR is not just something that a company can do all at once and then leave it. It's got to be this ongoing process. It's got to be this continual thing.
Yeah, it definitely has to be an ongoing thing. It's not okay, we'll do it for this one thing and then, okay, we'll see you later. You have to really invest in it and then invest in it properly.
Yeah.
You know, for you to get the real benefit, and then you'll see a return on your investment at the end of the day.
100%. And then Denise, do you think that this kind of old school press materials and old school PR, so things like print magazine features and direct mail and things like that. Do you think that kind of old school press materials, do you think they'll always have a big part to play in this industry?
Well, yes, I do. You know, what you call old school PR is what makes PR. You know, I mean, that's what makes it. If it weren't for us old timers, you know, then there would be no PR right now today. So yes, I think
Yeah.
an important avenue that will always be around.
I almost feel bad for that, Denise. No, it's, I'd read a few articles that obviously things date so quickly in PR, don't they, and marketing in general. You know, it's crazy how quick things become old school and how quick they're deemed old school.
Yeah, but you know, with that being said, what goes around comes around. You know,
yeah.
you may consider it old school today because you found some new shiny thing, but then when the rubber meets the road, you have to come back. You have to come back.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And then you know, me personally, sometimes press coverage in the broadcasting industry can come across a little bit stale sometimes, a bit boring sometimes, because it's obviously quite technical. How do you personally continue to keep things like press releases fresh and exciting?
Oh, now you're asking me to share my secrets.
You don't have to answer this question, Denise. It's fine.
No way. I'm sure many PR practitioners in the game have their own bag of tricks. You know, there are several ways to keep your information fresh, especially now since there's a lot of digital and online opportunities and ways to do things. And you just have to, you know, figure out what works for you and your client, and then go down that road and then sprinkle a little seasoning on it, and you've got something good.
You know, I wasn't trying to get any secrets out of you there, Denise. That's a perfect answer. And then, Denise, looking back through your career and your personal experiences in PR, do you tend to agree with that old statement that all publicity is good publicity?
Oh, I've heard that statement so many times over my career. And in the beginning, you know, you say that, you tell yourself that, you know, and while working with some of the executives that I have worked with over the years, it has given me pause to consider that all publicity is good publicity. Mm-hmm. As a professional PR person, I will say there's always a way to spin it.
That's brilliant. There's always hope out there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's always a way to spin it.
Love that. And then, Denise, is there a kind of particular technology or a particular medium for public relations and things like that excites you the most about PR going forwards?
Well, things are changing so fast all the time. But I think streaming solutions, you know, this new streaming capability is very exciting to me, you know, getting better and better. And I find that it's an excellent way to engage your online audience. So I'll say I'm really fascinated with streaming solutions because almost anyone can do it. Almost,
yeah. I think, yeah, the kind of being a broadcaster nowadays is just not the same thing as being a broadcaster 20 years ago, is it? You know,
no.
Twitch streamers, people setting up live streams, like you said, with minimal equipment. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think it's brilliant stuff. And then, Denise, a bit more, another kind of cliche question here, but if you could kind of deliver a message to yourself 10 years ago to prepare yourself for the next decade in PR, what would you tell yourself?
Wow, Neil, you've got some great questions.
I'm glad you think so.
That's a good one. I struggle with this one a bit at times because, I mean, things change. But what I would say to tell myself is things will change, mainly the technology and how messages are delivered. In my mind, the message is what matters. So what I technology is changing 24/7. The most important thing is still the message.
No, I completely agree with you. That I was thinking about this question myself, and I was like, there would be nothing I don't think I would tell myself to prepare. I'd just like you were saying, just stick with the core message. Change is inevitable. There's no way you can really prepare yourself, is there? But that's all part of the fun.
I've been trying to prepare myself for the last years.
It's a constant process, isn't it? But
yeah,
we're enjoying it. And then, Denise, this is a question we ask at the end of every podcast, and I do encourage guests not to overthink it. But in one word, what can we expect for the future of the broadcasting industry?
One word. I'd go with on demand.
Ooh. We haven't had that one yet, actually.
Yeah, I would go with on demand because of the changing technology and the way that everything is moving and changing so fast. I think on demand is right up there for number 1 or 2 for me.
Yeah, because I'm not sure about you, but my life at the moment is on demand. It's watching YouTube videos, obviously Netflix, Amazon Prime, having all these subscriptions and things like that. So it's just a huge. It's very rare I watch live events, unless of course it's sport or music or something like that.
And in our current situation with the pandemic, it's hard to get out to live events anyway. So everything is now being on demand. Everyone wants access, but we've been put into a situation where we can't get it live. So on demand is the up and coming thing.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant, Denise. So obviously, thank you so much for joining us today, Denise. I really do appreciate it. Are there any kind of exciting plans or projects that you've got in the pipeline?
I don't. I'm in the middle of trying to figure out what's happening in the industry with our trade shows and everything's being canceled and this, that, and the other thing. But I am associated with Bubble Agency, and we're just looking at different ways to continue keeping our clients in the forefront of the industry and looking at ways to keep it fresh and keep it coming.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. I noticed obviously over the last week and the previous weeks with trade shows and at the moment it's a little bit of a storm, isn't there, essentially? But what's important is obviously companies communicate effectively with what's happening. And from the companies that I've seen obviously involved with this, I think they're all doing a fantastic job at keeping the industry informed about what's happening. So I think that's absolutely brilliant. And then how can people get in touch with you, Denise, if they want to find out anything more about what you're up to or inquire about any of your services?
Oh, yes, they can contact me via email at denisew@bubbleagency.com, or they can find me on any of the social media channels.
Awesome. So we'll link your LinkedIn in the podcast description, Denise. So anyone on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, you guys can go and find that over there. So once again, thank you for joining me, Denise. I really do appreciate it and for enlightening me on a few of those topics. This is something that I wanted to cover for a long, long time now. So thank you again.
Well, thank you very much.
Cheers, Denise.